almost 40. All right, he knows. So he's been a subgroup leader in the Notes group for 10 now. So he's been educating us, sharing his wisdom. He's the type of guy I could call him anytime and say, I need information on Tonopah or mobile homes or whatever it is. He will give me the right information and get me in the right direction. So I wanted to take this time, and because Tom's stepping down from subgroup leader, so I want to acknowledge everything he's done and provide you with a little plaque here from Ezria. No, truly from Ezria, the staff, the members, what you've done for the community is amazing. He has a couple podcasts with us, great story. So if you want to share anything with anybody or no?
God, I appreciate you so much. You know, I knew Alan real well, like a lot of us have been around for a while. And when Alan sold the business and left, some of us, especially me, were kind of like, what does this mean? Well, he couldn't have picked a better guy. Like, you have just done a marvelous job with this. You're changing things, all the local stuff you're doing now, instead of bringing in what I call the seminar guys who hit and run. You know, so thank you for what you're doing. And hopefully we'll be doing something more here in a couple of months.
He'll be around, but
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, give him well out there. Again,
Why renters are becoming buyers. The high rental rates we've seen across the country are forcing renters to make some tough decisions, either becoming house poor or continue renting indefinitely, potentially for the rest of their lives, with no end in sight for these high rental rates and still soaring costs of labor and materials. New housing remains largely unaffordable for many. Mobile homes on leased land.
There's a significant speculation about the validity of manufactured housing as a sound investment in a secure home for end users. However, these homes have proven their durability with 50-year life cycles across the country, representing the last frontier of affordable housing. With current interest rates at 7% and an average home purchase price around $300,000, qualifying for a mortgage requires an income of $60,000 a year with no debt. A challenging prospect for many. Consequently, renting continues to be a financial drain. Concerns about mobile home depreciation frequently arise, but the benefits of manufactured housing surpass other market alternatives. In highly desirable areas, these homes offer the last remaining affordable homeownership options. The rate of depreciation is largely contingent on the desirability of the location. Establishing a desirable market, as discussed earlier, is integral to providing a housing program for individuals who feel excluded for traditional real estate and are weary of high rental costs. Addressing these hesitations with factual information and real-world examples can significantly enhance buyer confidence and facilitate a successful transaction. August 16th, Alden Guajardo here today in the Valley of Arizona, here with Zach Salzman. Zach, if you could just introduce yourself for the viewers that don't know you.
Yeah, I'm Zach Salzman, local mortgage broker here at my Yumi Home Loans, part of the Yumi Projects group. We've got a handful of things we do involving forward mortgages, so here's traditional financing, as well as assumable loans. Just kind of, yeah, man.
Little light touch on what you do. Love it, Zach. The assumable mortgage market is actually a potential explosive opportunity we're seeing here in the market. Why? Because lack of inventory, high pricing, as well as where interest rates are currently. Zach, if you could just touch on the opportunity available to individuals that may be watching here today about the assumable mortgage market.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like the assumable loans right now. I mean, we know VA rates back in 2020, 2021, early 2022 were historic lows. And so you have the ability as anybody, investors included, to assume a VA home loan. So you don't have to be a veteran, much be it, and many people don't know that, but assuming a rate 2% to 3%, 4% right now in our market is
never been heard of before, especially for an investor trying to garnish a loan. We've seen millions of Americans the past couple years get these 2 to 5% mortgages, where right now in the market as an investor, it's a tough decision to acquire a property, as the cash flow doesn't make sense at a 9% DSCR loan and things of that nature. People watching here today provides you the information to know that assumable mortgages could be an investment vehicle for you to invest in the market on a asset that not historically, but today in the financial market doesn't make sense in cash flow. That assumable mortgage rate may allow them to cash flow in that specific asset. Maybe if you could just touch on how much deal flow me is seeing currently in this explosive opportunity we're seeing in assumable mortgages.
Yeah, so we're seeing about 30 new assumptions, at least applications for them every month. We're closing about 20 to 25 a month. It ranges, right? I mean, assumable loans, they could take anywhere from 60 to 90 days to actually, go through and close. There's a lot more that goes into it. So it is important, if you're looking at that, to speak with someone that is an assumption specialist.
And that's Zach Salzman, obviously, here today. There's a lot going on in the market for, I think, capital investors, and people are looking at where to put their money at the end of the day to try and make a financially savvy investment decision. We just saw big bloodshed in the stock market. We've seen big appreciation in residential real estate over the past 5 years. But when you're out in the market looking at opportunities, it's pretty scarce to try and make a savvy decision and ultimately project a return on investment, especially here in Arizona. Houses that people are trying to go out and buy, they don't cash flow, and maybe they're trying to bank on the appreciation. Well, we just saw the big appreciation, so at the end of the day, if you're looking for an option in residential real estate, an assumable mortgage may fit what you're looking for, especially with the scarcity we're seeing out in the market here in Arizona. So Zach, if you could just touch lightly on how you see the assumable mortgage market actually evolving, maybe here in our local market or the 4 other markets that you guys service here in the country. If you could just touch on how that may evolve here in the near future, and maybe some quick quips about that.
Yeah, well, from an investor standpoint, I think it's going to continue to explode. Just there's not as much know-how, right? Not as many people are so familiar with the assumption world.
Needs more education possibly out there on how to even conduct these transactions, because opposed to a subject to that's quiet to the lender, you're actually participating with the bank or the lender and assuming that rate. Definitely different.
Yeah, definitely much different. You assume the liability and the lead. You now become the primary on the loan itself. So, again, from an investor standpoint, it's going to continue to explode. 2/3 of the deals we're getting anyways right now are all investors. So as we continue to expand into other markets too, it's just going to keep on growing and growing and growing. And it's also a great tool for, regular people that are trying to buy primary residence.
Or even house hack. You heard people doing that. They buy their primary and rent out a room and then rent out the other room later on.
Yeah.
Those are actual opportunities out in the market. Zach, if you could just touch on, if someone's here today looking for an option like that, or maybe want to apply or even see some deals that are on the table, how would they go about that?
Yeah, so we've got a great platform, takemylowrate.com. It's it. So go there. We've got a huge inventory all over the map, kind of like I want to say Zillow, but like Zillow, right? It's all over the map. You can see exactly where these homes are listed for sale. It's got a huge breakdown for it. It shows you what the sale price is, what the delta is, what you need to bring to the table to close with, as well as what your payment's going to be. So it's pretty straightforward. It tells you, is this fitting for you? So takemylowrate.com. And if you've got any questions, reach out.
Yeah, no, 100%. And this is brought to you by Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, as REIA happens to be the largest real estate investment association here in the country. Zach, quickly oriented towards the real estate investor possibly looking to go through one of these vehicles of an assumable mortgage. What are some of maybe the average down payments and rates you're seeing here in Arizona, top 10 market. People are looking possibly to invest in here in Arizona, but are finding scarce opportunities and forced to look at off markets. If you could maybe touch lightly on someone that may fall within that criteria of what those averages may look like. Obviously it's case to case, but just kind of a broad spectrum.
Yeah. So we'll see a need for a down payment anywhere between, could be 5% down. It could be 25% down. The deals are there. The interest rates are listed. I mean, that's huge. Pretty straightforward. We've also got an investor platform that's being built out currently that's going to show you kind of a CMA to give you an idea of what rents would be in the property anyways. So you'll know offhand, will I cash flow? You'll have the mortgage payment, plus you'll have an idea what the rent will be. So it just makes it a pretty seamless decision.
So lets you know what your cash flow is and how to make that possible. How? By contacting Zach Salzman here today. So that's Mobile Mailbox Money, Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. Zach, appreciate having you out here. If you're interested in any of the products that Zach may have to offer, reach out to him and we'll put his information below. We're here today with Kristian Berry, local real estate agent of the Berry team. Kristian, how's it going today?
Great, Alden. How are you?
Going good. If you could just introduce yourself real quick for the viewers that don't know you.
Yes, I'm Kristian Berry, the Berry team here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, your residential realtor. So,
absolutely. Here, the market is quite unique compared to what's going on around the country. You hear horror stories of like what's going on in Florida because of inflated insurance policies and maybe they can't seek insurance. Well, here in Arizona, it's definitely case specific to what's going on around the country here. We're still seeing people buying single family properties and being active in the market. It's quite interesting to talk about the state of the residential real estate market, which is what we'll do here today with the conversations of the Fed, talking about rate reductions potential in September. I think there's a lot of people kind of waiting out in the market or trying to make a decision that's financially savvy out in the market today. A lot of pressure, a lot of conversation in the news and things of that nature. I had Kristian come and bring some local analytics based off MLS statistics to show what's going on here in the Valley. So we'll go through some light analytics of like what are the main markets we'll be talking about here today.
Actually, we got a few here. We got Glendale, Mesa, Phoenix, Chandler, and Scottsdale.
So the Greater Valley area, places that have seen really high population growth and density as well.
Yeah.
So let's kind of dive into the numbers here on this update and statistics on residential real estate here, brought to you by Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. So which one can we start off with?
Let's start off with our personal favorite. Let's do Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yep.
Big zip code.
Yes. Sir.
Highly desirable here in Arizona. For those that don't know the Scottsdale location.
Yes, very desirable. Basically, the listings are still selling, but they are taking a little longer.
A little bit longer list term.
Yes.
So the amount of time that a property is available on the market.
Yeah.
What has it increased to?
It's been about it's 76 days on the market usually, typically in Scottsdale. So that's pretty high compared to what it was.
So about 2 months and 10 days,
Yeah.
something like that. I think previously we were talking, it was like something 50 days on market. From what I remember previously on our golf vlog, check that out previously on the Mobile Mailbox Money channel.
Yep.
So 72 days on market for Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Maybe some other identifiers in Scottsdale, like what's average pricing?
Average median sold price in Scottsdale is 1.175.
Which, do you know what it was before by chance?
Yeah, it was 951,000 last year.
So that's like almost over a 20% equity realized in the past year.
Yep.
Showing some more desire here, that's more demand fulfilling out in the market.
Definitely.
The list, days on market may have gone up, but they saw a $200,000 increase
Exactly.
in appreciation, something to account for in the Scottsdale market. So you got 72 days on market in Scottsdale, 200,000 in realized appreciation over the past year.
Yeah.
Also, how does that compare maybe to, some other markets right next door?
Well, typically, like Phoenix, they're about 60 days on market before you get your house sold, which isn't too bad at all.
From what was the previous?
Previously, it was just around 50.
50,000?
52.
52 days.
Yep.
To 62, have we said?
Yes, sir.
So about a 10-day difference. Still demand. That's not a crazy big slide. I think that we were blessed the past couple years with crazy days low on market,
Yes.
Is this kind of considered a median market, at the end of the day?
Getting back to a normal market. We're getting there.
From the crazy, demand that we saw, it's hard to weigh those, those markets.
When you could just list your property and 30 people will be putting an offer on it.
100%.
But now we're getting more realistic.
So that's Phoenix, right?
Yes.
That's the 10-day on-market change.
Yep.
What's the average pricing right now in Phoenix?
In Phoenix, the median price is $475,000.
Which is actually median purchase price for Maricopa County. For those that don't know, average purchase prices for the entire county is $450.
Yep.
So that's falling right in the median range. So $450. We had 1.1 in Scottsdale, right?
Yep. And
10-day difference in days on market on Phoenix, and the difference in Scottsdale. Still demand out there, right?
definitely.
Let's dive into another small market here.
Let's go to let's go to Glendale. Glendale surprisingly has 59, which is just about the same as Phoenix.
59 days on market. What was the difference from last year? So year over year differences statistically off the analytics from the MLS.
15 days from year to year.
So it's a 15-day difference, a little bit longer. From the people that were buying at the tail end of last year, or when are these drawn? Are these month over month?
Yes.
So this is the month of last year, month of August 2023. Analytics provided off the MLS 10-day list on market difference.
Yep.
Right? 10 days more. That's a week and a half. That's some small changes in NAR, problems throughout that time.
Definitely.
Could have attribute to a longer transaction base or, things of that nature. Let's dive into another market here. So we went through Scottsdale, Phoenix. That next one was, Glendale. So we went days on market. What's the average purchase price of Glendale right now?
$450,000.
$450 average. That's an average purchase price here in the Valley, and with potential rates going down in September, what does that mean? That could mean another demand hike of people that were less qualified trying to possibly sit on the sideline, or
Especially because Glendale is one of the cheapest markets in the Phoenix area.
is that the case? Yeah.
Yep.
Good little statistic there if you're not aware. So that's Glendale. We went purchase price. What was the change from last year in Glendale?
The change in Glendale, it would be just about a 4% change. So $434,000 was the full price.
So it went up 4% in appreciation year over year, August to August, 2023 to 2024. Some small appreciation, 4%. Tough to cash flow right now on properties, like that in that market. So that's Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale. Let's go to Mesa. Mesa's historically been a big retirement area, not as big as some of the other areas here in Arizona, but we've seen great affordability in Mesa. Just a small outer market outside of Scottsdale, about 20-minute drive or less.
Yep.
Right. So good indicator of the overall health of the market here in Arizona, because we saw crazy appreciation, 20% in Scottsdale.
Oh my God.
Right? And people may be looking for more affordable options. Where's that? Maybe Mesa, or another market. Let's talk about Mesa real quick. Dive into it.
Surprisingly, the median sale price is down 3%. It was $490 last year.
Interesting.
Down to $475,000. So that's a lot more affordable than, say, Scottsdale.
And I wonder what rates were last year in August. I think it was probably higher than it is right now, because they just kind of feathered off a little bit. We're here August 19th. in August here, 2024. So that's Mesa. We saw some depreciation in residential property. Volatile market, right? Kind of interesting to see the differences of what's going on.
Yeah, they still have about 60 days to sell your property in Mesa,
which is under, some of the others here. So that's showing some more possibly desirability. But the lower income individuals here in the Valley sound like they're having a little bit harder time purchasing. With the more affordable properties like in Mesa, they may be having harder time qualifying because of the increase in rates, from last year. Could have been a factor. Important to see the dynamics like the financial market, right, of what someone can afford.
Yes.
At the end of the day. So that's days on market. They lost some small appreciation, but saw big appreciation prior to that. So most of them are probably still on the green, depending on who's owning over there in the Mesa market. That's Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, Mesa.
And last but not least, we got Chandler, one of my favorite communities.
It's a great up and coming area. They've done a lot of development. They have like Old Town Chandler, right? Downtown Chandler, big deal. Had a lot of restaurants open over there. Cool little, livelihood going on in downtown Chandler. What are the details there, Kristian?
Details. Let's give it to it. 50 days on the market before you can sell your house, so it's a little quicker in Chandler. But, families are moving in. It's a desirable neighborhood.
50 days on market. What was the difference from last year?
It's up 4% in the median sold price.
So median sold price, they appreciated about 4%. What was the difference in days on market? So we have 50 days on market this year, here in August.
47 last year.
So right about the same. You're seeing a desirability, and demand still facilitate in Chandler. Kind of interesting. With that up and coming new area, right? Kind of a new election, a desirability in Chandler over the past couple years because of the development and high desirability of Arizona in general. People are still moving here.
Yep. And affordability as well in Chandler.
Tax savings from other states too.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
Kristian talks to a lot of people out in real estate, from people looking to be an end user, trying to buy your first home, looking out in the market. He deals with investment clients as well. Kristian, what are some of the questions that you're kind of being asked right now about the market? Maybe two questions that are people asking. Is it maybe the classic questions are like, oh, is it a good time to buy? Or, things of that nature here, date the rate, buy the home. What are some good quips that you feel?
I always get.
For sure.
Which is always a good time to buy in Arizona. Always.
Arizona's a great market. I think we're really blessed. We take it for granted sometimes. Opposed to one of these off markets, we're now a new desirability, new election of a desirable market the past 5 years. Had new gaming laws come out for the casinos. You got a Vegas style gaming. You got Old Town Scottsdale going vertical. Tempe's going vertical. A lot of Fortune 500 tech companies moving here. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We were just actually driving the other day and saw a big chip company just opened up 6 humongous buildings.
The big microchip companies. Yeah, it's crazy. You got a lot of fear mongering going on in the news. Definitely case specific, depending on what market an individual is in, like a Florida market or California. We're in one of the most dynamic markets in the country. That's where people are moving from. They're moving here to Arizona at the end of the day, and I think some statistics here today really help an individual make an educated decision out in the market, because people are looking for, really what are the analytics outside the news of them. Yeah, the actual real deal facts of appreciation. What market may be suffering a little bit more than the other? Because, when you watch the news, they're going to sway it one way or the other depending on who sponsored their news special or whatever at the end of the day. And that's why I think it's great to have people that you like, know, and trust in the business, right? And people that are of utmost professionality out here and actually doing business in the Arizona market, opposed to taking someone's word for it. This is concrete analytics provided here in the market of Arizona, as well as attending Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, which is one of the largest real estate investment associations in the country. So for us, we're out here operating in the market, talking to people, taking questions, and we felt it advantageous to bring you these statistics here today. Kristian, if someone was looking to contact you, where would they do that?
Well, you can either go on my Instagram, Kristian Sells AZ, or you can reach out, give me a phone call, 480-789-2494. Happy to take your call, happy to help you build your business and your family.
That's Kay Barry of the Barry team, right? That's a little nickname if you got to call him. Definitely hit him up, market expert. And happy to have you here today, Kristian.
So much. Yeah, so much fun, and I hope people actually benefited from this, which...
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll possibly have him on again to provide some regular statistics and analytics, as well as partnered with Arizona Real Estate Investors Association from the analytics and data that they provide from the Cromford reports here. Get a great overall view from real estate agents, investors, one of the largest investment associations in the country. These are real deal analytics, people. So happy to have you here today viewing. Kristian, again, appreciate your time.
Thank you, Alden.
Absolutely. We're here today with Austin Mastro, prolific stockbroker, actually just moved back here to the Arizona market from New York. Austin, if you could just introduce yourself for the viewers that don't know you.
Hey guys, my name is Austin Mastro. I'm originally from Arizona. I moved out to New York about 11 years ago, and I just recently moved back about 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely, known Austin a long time, so happy to have you here today, Austin.
Thanks.
We're here today on the real estate news, and Austin is obviously a stockbroker. We're talking about the ability and need to diversify out in the market. Obviously, stocks are not a bad strategy by any means. They serve their purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
But diversifying out in the market right now even is more important than ever. Austin, we've had open conversation about, different asset classes, and being a member of ASREA, Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. They have great education behind buy and flip, buy and hold, Airbnb. They have the pad split educations for investors to do multiple rooms in the same residential property. There's a lot of different buckets individuals can invest in to diversify in real estate. If you could maybe just touch on a few of those that you've even looked at, moving back here to Arizona, one of the most dynamic markets in the country.
Like you're saying, stocks are a good way to make money. It's how I pretty much make most of my income. But I do think being diversified is smart. For the most part, I've made a lot of money in the stock market, but constant appreciation has always been from the house that I bought back in 2019.
Absolutely.
So I did make good money on that. I'm still currently holding on to it. But yeah, I do see being diversified smart. I think getting into either Section 8 housing is something that I'm looking to get into because you can get in at a low cost. They're saying between $5,000 and $15,000. And your cash flow should be anywhere between $500 and $700. I am looking at currently buying condos just because they're a little bit cheaper than single family homes in Arizona right now.
Sure. Yeah, no, a couple options out in the market. Buying a condo could be a long-term, traditional long-term rental strategy, or, possibly some form of Airbnb. People love also the Section 8. That's a big, trigger word for a lot of people, Section 8, as far as education out on the available market. And that's a cool thing to look at as far as a non-traditional investment strategy. I'm not so much seasoned in Section 8, but obviously, that comes with clientele that had to fulfill application processes and things of that nature. Maybe you could just touch on how you explored that lightly, or...
Yeah, so I'm no expert in Section 8 at all, but I did do a little research because I almost got suckered into one of those what would you say, courses.
Sure, yeah.
So someone almost got me. I don't think they are scams, but I just wasn't feeling it. I think I could educate myself and probably do it myself and save a few bucks.
But paid education serves its purpose at the end of the day. But at the same time, just depends on the individual serving the
Exactly.
education
That's
and how
what it was.
valid, you know, their courses are and
Yeah.
things of that nature.
Yeah.
If they give you the tools you need in order to execute a strategy, you know, that's one thing. But if you don't feel it, on the other hand, it's hard to justify paying for a paid
Yeah.
education
No, it
out
was
in the
more-
market.
It was more of the person that was giving the course. Nothing against courses. That stuff definitely helps. Especially like
The courses through Azria, you know,
Yeah.
to know that there's a tried and true verified source, you know, to get real estate education. But sorry to cut you off there.
But to get back to Section 8, no expert at all, but I did do a little research, and the word that you said is people are, it's like an I don't know, I forgot what you just said, but it was people don't like that word essentially.
Yeah, it's like a negative connotation
yeah.
towards Section 8 end users, you know, and maybe the strategy in general. You hear a lot of, you know, if the property comes back, it's going to be in bad condition because it's a lower income individual. You know, you hear that sometimes out there as well. You know, there's a strategy for everyone at the end of the day.
What I heard is it's actually, there are cases like that, but I heard more often than not, there's actually like a 2 or 3 year waiting list where these people are on this waiting list
Sure.
to essentially get pre-approved for Section 8. And they say more often than not, like if you're on a waiting list for 2 or 3 years, when you finally get into a house, you're not going to mess up that opportunity,
Sure.
especially if the government's paying 90 to 100% of your income or your housing. So, you know, there's this whole bad picture painted of Section 8 of like, oh, these people are bad people, they mess up the house. And like I said, if you wait 2 or 3 years, I don't think you're going to mess up, you know, an opportunity like that. So that is something I'm looking to get into. I was looking at Ohio.
Some off markets.
Yeah. Houses between like 50
In the
and
Midwest
$7,000.
and things of that nature.
Yep, Detroit. But I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
You know, the challenge I see as like a real estate investor is, you know, we're seeing currently a market here in Arizona that's tough to execute a real estate investment strategy here in Arizona because of pricing and where interest rates are as well. You know, so we're forced to look at these off markets. Well, you know, it's a challenge when we're halfway across the country. You know, if something ends up going wrong, or you need to fix something, or you must have your contacts set up for potential rehab and things of that nature. It could, you know, get down to that. Hopefully that's not the case if it were ever needed. But, you know, I think that's a great topic because investors are looking, you know, in these off markets because of the high prices and unaffordability we're seeing here in Arizona for sure. So that being said, you know, we talked about Section 8. We talked about some long-term buy and hold, like buying a condo and renting that out here in the Valley, of looking at potentially available opportunities. The problem, you know, is, again, you know, pricing and cash flow is a scarce thing to come by right now. When us as investors out here looking at available opportunities, it's hard to know where to go and make a savvy financial investment coming from your bread and butter from stocks.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you earn a great living in stocks, and by all means, you know, that's where your portfolio's at, in stocks.
Yeah.
You bought your primary residence in New York and rode the appreciation up, which is phenomenal. And to try and look, you know, and find those golden nugget opportunities out in the market, they're few and far between. You know, there's not all that much opportunity for an individual like Austin here to go out and diversify in this real estate market. And even investors watching here today, it's a scarce market to make a financially savvy decision.
Yeah, I mean, like you said before, the reason I never pulled the trigger on buying a Section 8 property in like Detroit or Ohio is because I didn't feel comfortable not being there. If something were to go wrong, rehab.
That's tough.
Just everything. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So
to take that risk, that's a risk.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, you're taking a calculated risk, but you know, you want to hedge your bets at any given time. You know, me, I do housing here in Arizona, and it's manufactured housing, which fits its purpose because, you know, the mass unaffordability and lack of quality programs out here in Arizona, you know, that creates a potential cash flow in a market here in a local market, we happen to be here in this market, and to be able to do business in our backyard, as well as actually cash flow and turn a profit, that's a hard thing to come by. So I encourage individuals, we're looking at all these kinds of different strategies, from Section 8, buy and hold, Airbnb, on that subject. Ever since the Super Bowl, it seems like this market's been so highly saturated. It's hard to even operate and make a fee, as well as maybe get a management company. Well, by that time, it's like, whoa, now we may be out of pocket. You're trying to bank on appreciation. Well, we just saw huge appreciation over the past couple years, with the Fed saying in September they may reduce rates. Well, that creates potential opportunity for appreciation. But you got to hedge these bets, right? At the end of the day, to make a savvy investment strategy. Those opportunities, just are non-existent here in this market in Arizona. It's a problem.
And I've been telling you this for years. You do have a niche, and you did find a market.
That market is affordable housing, and what's a state of emergency right now is affordable housing. Yeah. It's an affordability problem here we're seeing because of high labor and material costs, as well as lack of inventory out here on the available market. And we cash flow in manufactured home notes. That's personal property, mobile home notes that have a face rate that outpace inflation, and that's in a top 10 market, one of the most dynamic markets here in the country. So out here looking at the available opportunities, I know you're sitting here watching today. You probably saw the market updates that we've done, as well as previously Zach Salzman talking about assumable mortgages. There's money on the sideline right now, I think, in speculation of what the market's gonna do. But where's the opportunity when people are sitting on the sideline? And there's a highly skeptical market. People are trying to understand what's going on. There's opportunity out there. So I encourage you to go out and maybe take a paid education, or reach out to Austin if you're looking to diversify in stocks. Austin, if you could just tell people where to find you here today if they're looking to get information regarding stock plays, or want to potentially make an investment with their portfolio. Where can they find you at?
If you'd like to contact me for some stock information, I do work at New Age Venture. My phone number is 516-570-9729. And just reach out to me, let me know what you're looking for, and hopefully I could help out.
Mr. Austin Mastro, appreciate having you here today. Real estate news. Again, I'm Alden Guajardo with Silvercrest Opportunity Fund and Mobile Mailbox Money. Austin, appreciate having you here today.
Thanks, bro.
Boom. That went great. A little 9 minutes. That was perfect.